What's going on, guys? It's Kyle, Spin Out Cards. I think I got a good one today. We're going to talk about some of the other avenues that you can use to sell your Pokemon cards without being a pro seller on TCG Player or having 1,000 feedback on eBay. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Always putting out Pokemon related content. Now, I'm not naive to the fact that there are 1,000,001 videos that talk about how to sell your Pokemon cards, or how to sell your Pokemon cards at a profit, or how to start your Pokemon card business. And there's not a lot of videos that talk about maybe the more casual approach to selling your Pokemon cards. And that's what I want to tackle in this video. I'm going to give you 5 options, all of which I have plenty of experience with. I'll give you the pros and cons for each one. And without taking up too much time, let's get into it. All right, so before we get going, just a super quick show note. We're going to be using this card, the Tinkaton EX SIR from Paldea Evolved. It has a value of about $16 right now, and there's different factors that will affect sort of what we end up getting for that card at these 5 examples. So let's go. All right, so option number 1 is to head into your local game store, your local hobby shop, card store, whatever you want to call it, in your home area. All you got to do is do a quick Google search. It'll be right there. Now for the pros, this is going to be a very in and out experience. You know exactly what you're going to get. They're going to give you an offer. There's not going to be any haggling. You're going to pay a convenience fee for sure. And then you don't have to deal with shipping. You don't have to deal with interacting with some stranger from the internet, which is certainly a plus. And then for the cons is you're probably going to get an offer that's lower than any of the other options that I'm about to talk about. They have overhead at these stores, staff, leases, rent. They have to fill allocations for the new sets that come out every 3 months. You probably expect to get like a 60 to 70% offer on whatever it is that you're bringing. They're not going to entertain any haggling, and it's going to be a very much take it or leave it sort of situation with the number that they throw at you for whatever it is that you're trying to sell. And sometimes that can be a little bit of a blow. All right, option number 2. Now this one I want to highlight because I think it has a lot of potential for someone who's, again, trying to casually sell their Pokemon cards. It is Mercari. It's an app, a reselling app. You can get it on iOS or Android, and it has a lot going for it in terms of pros. Now, there are 0 seller fees, which is a huge deal in terms of reseller apps. It's like pretty much the only one that does it right now currently. And they do discounted shipping nationwide. You can also set your posts to have local pickup. The whole process from posting until payment is super seamless. And then another big thing is that it doesn't require you to have like a massive amount of reviews for people to actually view and potentially buy your stuff. And in terms of negatives, it's not like the biggest platform for selling Pokemon cards, and it's mainly just because it has a lot of competition in like eBay and TCG Player. Payment takes a long time. You won't get paid until whoever it is that purchases your product actually leaves you a review. And I will also say that on Mercari there's a lot of inactive accounts. So sometimes people will message you, or sometimes people will even buy you, and then payment will just never come through and you'll have to relist the item. That's been my experience, at least. But on the whole and as an overall, I would give it definitely like a strong A rating, just because mainly they're the only ones that have the 0 seller fees, and I think it just has a lot going for it. Option number 3, Facebook Marketplace. I know what you're thinking. Facebook Marketplace does have some things going for it though in terms of pros. Everybody has Facebook. So whatever it is that you post, there's millions of people scrolling through that Facebook Marketplace every day. So it is certainly a good place to sort of get eyes on your product. Making posts is simple and straightforward. Again, there's going to be, after this, a little preview of how to do that. And you can price things like sort of at market, or you can label them as make an offer. You can put it at $1 and then in the description put make an offer. Obviously it has local pickup. They do have discounted nationwide shipping. There are no fees on local sales. And in terms of cons, again, everybody has Facebook, and it has all of the same problems that Facebook Marketplace is sort of plagued and known to have. You'll get a lot of messages and then nothing, a lot of non-responses, just a lot of potential headache in terms of reading a lot of messages. There's no way around that. You'll also get a ton of offers, lowball offers, that sort of thing. Failed pickups, the list goes on, right? But there is a 5% seller's fee, or a 40-cent charge on anything that sells for $8 or below. And that pretty much covers it for Facebook Marketplace. Option number 4, we have OfferUp. Now, OfferUp, I think, again, is one of those lower key places where you can sell Pokemon cards. I've had a lot of success doing it in the past. For pros, it doesn't have as much competition. There's not as many posts of Pokemon cards, so the stuff that you do post will tend to stand out a bit more. The listing process is straightforward, from A to B to C to sale, and then they do give you a generous allowance in terms of shipping time. In terms of cons, OfferUp has the 12.9 seller's fee on final sale price. It does only offer limited options for shipping rates. They kind of like bulk it together by ounces, which is not ideal because the person who's buying it always has to pay shipping on OfferUp. And it kind of puts them in a weird spot where they're going to end up paying more. So you kind of have to take that into account with how you're pricing the card or product that you're trying to sell. Again, you'll get a lot of messages but no follow-up. And in my own experience, items tend to sit just a little bit longer on OfferUp. Again, I've had a ton of success selling on OfferUp, but I will say that my posts tend to sort of lag for a little while before I'll end up actually making the sale. And again, an easy option. Again, like low stress, don't need a whole lot of reviews. People are not like looking at your review count as like a determinant of actually buying. So certainly a good thing there. Option number 5, the final option of this video, and as I'm making this list, I feel like I'm going to make a follow-up video to this because there's tons of other ways that you could sell Pokemon cards, but these are the first 5 that popped into my head, is to go to a convention. You could go to a local card show, you could go to a Collecticon, any kind of con really where there's going to be vendors. Pros for going to a convention is there's a ton of booths and buyers for whatever it is that you're trying to sell. They'll pretty much buy anything that you have that is of any kind of value, and it'll tend to be a cash deal or like a PayPal sort of on the spot thing. It's definitely a fast-paced sort of haggling process and negotiation, and there's usually like a lot of noise going on, but if you're okay and comfortable in that sort of circumstance, then it's a fast process for you to sort of cash out whatever cards that you're trying to sell. In terms of cons, again, I'm going to bring up that noisiness. A lot of times people don't necessarily do well when they're overstimulated. So if that's not necessarily your scene or you don't do well in that, I wouldn't maybe suggest this sort of scenario for you. Again, you should expect like a percentage offer, 60 to 85% at a convention usually, depending on whatever the item is that you have that you're trying to sell. Like if it's like a slab, probably closer to 85%, but if it's a bunch of singles, maybe a little bit lower, somewhere near like 70. Haggling is a big thing at conventions. There's a lot of back and forth. If you're not good in negotiations, again, maybe not the best place to try to go and sell your cards. And then the other thing that's worth noting is you'll probably have to pay an entrance fee to whatever convention it is that you're going to. Worth mentioning because it'll usually be somewhere between like 5 all the way up to like 25 for like the bigger conventions. So another solid option if you are okay in those situations, and also if you need the cash quickly. Alright guys, so there you have it. That's my initial list of 5 places where you can casually sell Pokemon cards that aren't eBay or TCG Player. I actually had quite a bit of fun recording this video, and as I was talking and bringing up all the places that you can sell your Pokemon cards, I thought of a bunch more. So if this video gets a good response, I'll probably end up making another one with some more places where you can go with pros and cons. Appreciate you hanging out with me. If you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Again, I'm always putting out Pokemon content, and appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.